Okay, so I have played a bit of pre-release Blücher, and I played a bit post-release. And I want to put some thoughts on record because, obviously Dockyard ship, and you might still be wondering whether you want to push for it. So just in case there's anyone out there that this might help you decide, this is based on HIPAA, and the sort of selling point of it in the dev blog and whatever the articles was, it's like an 8. I don't know whether they use the words AP focused, but it's got improved AP and it's got destroyer accuracy. And so on paper, I was quite excited about this ship. I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. I tend to like the larger caliber, it's 8-inch, the larger caliber cruisers that have good accuracy. But it's okay. Like, don't get me wrong, this ship is okay. I think, like a lot of Dockyard ships, this ship is well balanced. It's got a good set of pros and a good set of cons that make it very well balanced. It sits quite in the middle in terms of performance. But, and I did have some good games, but I just wasn't that impressed with it because while you have the German HE pen, you've got a good fire chance, so you can use it like a HIPAA. But then the problem with that is you start thinking to yourself, would I just be better off if I was just playing a HIPAA? And here's the problem. You have improved AP. It's got slightly improved angles on the AP. And it has a heal as well that HIPAA doesn't have. But the fuse is 0.025. And so even though you're able to put these 8-inch AP shells where you want it on the enemy ship, what I was finding was I was getting pens, but I wasn't getting citadels, because a lot of ships at the tier bracket that this plays in don't wear their citadels on the outside. There's a plate, and then the citadel is on the inside. And so the problem, I think, is that the shells are detonating between that outer plate and the inner citadel plate. And so it was only on ships that have outer citadel, like Jinan, for example. I found a battleship earlier that I could citadel. If it was a cruiser that had any kind of like belt that's not citadel, or if it was a battleship that had a belt that wasn't citadel, then you just get pens. So you get okay damage, but you're not going to get those juicy sits and get the full alpha potential of your shells. So that was a little bit frustrating, but in terms of performance, it's kind of okay because you can get decent AP damage. It does add up. You can set fires, especially on battleships. I think the thing that this was best at, of all of the things, that this was best at was setting fires on particular points on a battleship. If you come across a battleship or a big cruiser and you see that the battleship doesn't have fire prevention, of course cruisers can't have fire prevention, and you can set a couple of fires and you go, oh, okay, they don't have fire prevention, and then you can aim for the nose and you can aim for the stern and you can try and set the whole ship on fire. It's really good at that because it's high fire chance HE shells with good pens, so you're getting good damage at the same time. And so you can use it to pinpoint those fires. That really is the selling point of this ship. It's not the AP. So I'd encourage you, if you do play this, to just lean on the HE a little bit more than maybe you would do if you'd read about it. Other than that, it's kind of similar to HIPAA, similar hull. It has 8-kilometer torpedoes instead of Germany's usual 6-ish. You have a 4.6 Hydro, which is nice for pushing stuff. You get a nice speed boost. So it has a pleasant package of stuff. It's just I was a little bit disappointed with the AP. I've got a funny feeling that if this ship had not had improved AP, and it was just normal AP, normal German HE, and its thing was improved accuracy, I think I would feel better about it. Even though it probably performed worse, I would just feel better about it because I'm not expecting the AP to perform, which it mostly really didn't. There's a few little moments, but generally it didn't. And so I was having to learn over the, 16, 18 games that I played. I was having to learn which things I can definitely citadel and which things I can't. And there were a few cruisers like Utrecht and Jinan, for example, that I'm like, okay, I know if I shoot that Smolensk Minotaur, I know if I shoot that, I'm going to get sits at reasonably good angles as well. But everything else was kind of a bit disappointing. So it kind of failed my I'd rather be playing test. But it honestly did grow on me a little bit as I started to lean a bit more on the HE and I started to use the accuracy to do the fire setting. I started to like it a bit more. But of course, fire starters aren't necessarily match winners because fire damage is completely healable, and so unless that fire damage kills the ship, it's completely pointless. So you need to make sure you're getting the kills with those fires, so you need to make sure you're spreading the fires around to make them more effective. So you know, if you like HIPAA, if you like that sort of open water playstyle, you like the hydro playstyle, it's pretty good range. The accuracy is great, so if a destroyer like pops up near you and you've got your HE loaded, you can really hit a destroyer very hard because you've got 8-inch HE with destroyer accuracy. So that can be fun occasionally. But overall, I would say this is pretty well balanced. So like damning it with faint praise, really. This is pretty well balanced. Like most Dockyard ships have been. So this is, you know, no different. So should you push for this? If you like the playstyle and you want a variant on a HIPAA-like ship, then you could do. I wouldn't get too excited about it. This isn't like the best ship ever or anything like that. But it's certainly not bad. I think it's just okay. It's an interesting variant on a HIPAA that's okay. There you go. That's my summary. I'm sorry to be boring, but that's a summary. Come and find me on Twitch.